Welcome back to the Crochet Chronicles, my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. We have a project by one of our team members, Anita, and she loves Tunisian like nobody else loves Tunisian as much as she does. No, but in all seriousness, she loves Tunisian. So she's come up with a pocket wrap that has a wrap with pockets added to it. Both of the pockets and the wrap are actually the same stitch combination. The difference is the starting chain is different. So in order to play with Anita today, you're going to need a longer, this is called an Afghan hook. It's about 12 inches long, and she's recommending the size P as in Peter, which is about 11.5 millimeters. I'm for demonstrations using a 10 millimeter here, and I'm going to be demonstrating with Bernat Maker Home Dec. She used Red Heart Hygge yarn, just like you see here. So because this is fluffy, I'm going to make it easier for you and use a yarn that is more non-fluffy. That's my technical word today. And let's talk about the combinations, and I also have a stitch sample for you as well to look at. So here's a stitch combination just like you see, and it's a really easy pattern to be able to maintain. And the way that it has it doing, we're gonna be doing Tunisian simple stitch and slip stitching together, which creates the look that you see here, which is really quite awesome. So it's a lot of fun to be able to play with, and I think it's awesome. See how it's rolling? That's natural with Tunisian. So people message, is it natural? Yeah, it's natural. It's just one of those things. The type of yarn and the size of the hook matters, because this is a more tense yarn. It wants to roll more, but you will find the Red Heart Hygge yarn will sit down more flat for you. Also at the end, you're gonna want to damp block it, so just mist it up a little bit, get a little bit damp, and lay it flat to dry, and you should be good to go. Today's tutorial, I'm not gonna demonstrate how to put the pockets onto here. My stitching today is just to show you how to do this combination. And we do have other videos on how to sew things to it. So if you are gonna sew a pocket, only sew 3 sides. I know it's not rocket science, but you're just gonna do the 3 sides and then you can slide in, and she has information if you'd like that. So if you want this pattern, see the more information link of this video. I posted in the comments too. So let's talk about the starting chains in order to begin. So this is my friend Anita in the photographs. Pink top, white top, it's still the same Anita. And what we have today is that the wrap is made up of chain 42, and the pockets are only chain 18, but the stitch counts are still the same. So it's just less stitches in order to play. So when you have the beginning loop on the hook and then the ending, which we do at the ending of the rail, that's not part of the combination. It's kind of like a bowling where you have the gutters. So you have one gutter one side, one gutter on the other, and then the stitch work is in the middle. That's the best way I can describe it. So let's pull out our bowling balls and our rental shoes, and let's see if you can do this. So we're gonna start with our Tunisian. So I'm gonna be using 2 different yarns today, and I already showed you the hook. So let's get playing now. So let's begin. We are going to create a slip knot to start, and we're gonna be using that really big thick hook. So you're gonna see it's really loose. That's not you, that is the project itself. But once you start doing this, the Tunisian, it will tighten up. So you need a larger hook in order for this, because there's a lot of tension in Tunisian. So you can either chain 42 if you're making the wrap, or chain 18 if you're making the pocket. So I'm only gonna do the 18. So remember, the one on the hook doesn't count as one. So you start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So if you're doing the wrap, you would have ended up with 42. Let's begin our first pass, and let's show you what you're gonna be up to today. So you're gonna take this hook, and you're gonna go second chain from the hook. So just count back 1 and 2 and get the back hump of the chain only, and you're going to insert in and yarn over and pull through and slide it down the shaft. Okay, so then that just leave it on the hook. I don't know why I'm stumbling today. So go in the back hump of the next one, yarn over, and then slide down the shaft. So you're gonna continue to do that. So how many chains did we start with this size? This was an 18 chains. So there should be 18 of these loops left on this hook by the time we get all the way to the end. So keep grabbing, yarning over, and sliding down the shaft, and I'll see you at the end of this row in just a moment. So now I'm at the end. You should have 18 loops on your shaft. So the anatomy of a crochet hook, you have the hook, you have the throat, and you have the shaft. And that's no fooling. Okay, so we're gonna go all the way back, and this is called the return pass. So it's really easy. It's just you gotta watch this first one. So we're gonna yarn over and just pull through the first loop only, and now you're ready for the fun stuff going all the way to the back. So you're gonna yarn over and then pull through 2 and 2 and 2 all the way back. I'm sure there's a song about 2. So, well, might be on Sesame Street. So you're just yarning over and pulling it through sets of 2 all the way back, except for the final 2. That's where you're gonna wanna wait for me in just a moment, and I'll show you what to do there. Now I'm getting closer to the end and I'm pulling through 2s, except for the final 2 I wanna rest and hold. Because it's the first time introducing a second color, I want you to just leave a long strand. Don't do a slip knot or anything, and just loop it around your hook and pull through the final 2. You're gonna deal with that hiding these loose ends later, so you can find videos on how to do that as well. Today is more of a technique for how to do this particular stitch. So we're now gonna officially start and begin row number 2. As we begin to officially do row number 2, we're just gonna let this red just leave it off to the side and behind. And the first vertical here, you're going to ignore that. Okay, so you'll always ignore the first vertical. You wanna focus on the second one. And we're gonna do a Tunisian simple stitch in the first 2 of these. So you go in behind the vertical and you yarn over and you pull up and leave it and slide down your shaft, and do the next one just like that as well. So in and pull through. So you did the first 2. Now the next 2 that you're gonna have, it's going to be a slip stitch in this case. So to slip it, you're gonna slip the next 2, but you have to go around anyway into this third one. So when you're gliding through, I want you to say to yourself slip, slip, and slip. So 3 slips, and you're going to pull through the third one. So when I was originally learning how to do this, I was slip stitching the 2, and then I realized if I just go one more, I can just save myself a process of resetting my hands, right? So I can go right into the third. So I want 2 of these in a row. So the next one you have the Tunisian simple stitch. Okay, so watch what I do. So I slip, slip, so those are the 2 slips, and the third one is the Tunisian simple stitch. You follow my drift? And you're gonna do that all the way across. So the next one is a Tunisian simple. See how they're in groups of 2? Ignore this one right here. You never saw it. Okay, so we're gonna slip, slip, and go to the third and do the simple. And see how I'm just wiggling it down my shaft? So just going in. And by doing that, what you're doing is you're keeping all the stitch counts equal, like the sizing. So eventually you'll come out to the end. So you're just going to slip, slip, and you have to come to the end. The secret for the ending is to make sure that you go into what appears to be a stitch. So you're just gonna go in, and there's gonna be 2 strands on top of the hook. That will have the most perfect ending you ever did see. So you're just gonna yarn over and pull through. Okay, so you end up with the one color on its own at the end. Now to do the return pass is what we have to do for row number 2 next. So the return pass is what you already know. So you're gonna yarn over, pull through the first one the first time, and now you're gonna go through your 2s. So yarn over and pull through 2 and 2 and do that all the way back. It's so therapeutic. Now I told you Anita loves Tunisian. She loves Tunisian. She loves this. It's relaxing, it's calming. I think she likes sliding her hook in these stitches as well. It's actually really quite addictive, and it's actually almost meditative. And I'm being very serious about that. I know it's hard to imagine that. So you're gonna pull through it except for the final 2, and I want you to pull that green tighter, and I want you to drop the green, or whatever color you're using today, and you wanna grab the other color that you dropped, and you wanna finish it with the new color so that it's ready to go. And then we're gonna start row number 3. So let's begin row number 3 in the forward pass. So the first 2 this time are going to be a slip stitch, and then the next one is gonna be a Tunisian simple. See how it's red already? So it gives you that indication of what you're doing when you get there. So you're just gonna immediately start. You don't chain 1 like regular crochet. So you slip, slip, and go to the third, and yarning over and pulling it through for a simple stitch around that third one. And you see how the red one goes around the red one? That's what's making those lines. So you're gonna Tunisian simple the next one, and then you're gonna slip again. So slip, slip, and go to the red. It's the third one, and Tunisian simple, and Tunisian simple the next. It's almost like in my head that I know that these are green, so I'm not gonna Tunisian them. I'm just gonna slip them and then go to the third, and that's the one I'm gonna do the simple stitch with. And I'm gonna continue to do that. So I'm gonna simple, and then slip, slip, and go to the third, and do the simple, and then do the simple. and then here's the ending. You're going to come into the side, what appears to be 2 strands, and that's just a regular stitch, and you're gonna pull through and you'll have the perfect ending that you want. So this time when you go to do the return pass, all you're just going to do is yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2 all the way back. Do you think you got it? I'm gonna take you through repeating rows number 2 and 3 one more time to make sure you got it. It's really quite simple. So we called it the simple pocket wrap because we were using the simple stitch. It wasn't any more complicated than that. Just recall when you get back, you were going to drop the color and bring up the other color that's just sitting there. Just give it a bit of a tug so it tightens things back up, and then finish it. To do the bind off, see how they're open stitches? The bind off will close that down, so it'll close it to be solid. So to do that, you're gonna pretend like you're doing a simple stitch and then yarning over, pulling it through, but also then pull through the one on the hook and finish it. So you're gonna go to the next one, pull through, and pull through the one on the hook. So this is called the bind off. Be relaxed about it, don't be tight because it will compress it. There's not a lot of give to the ending if you're tight. Okay, so you want to kind of just measure the flow and etc. So what you're going to do is that you're going to weave in your ends with the tapestry needle going back and forth 3 times underneath the stitches in order to get it to be well hidden. We have tutorials available on that, and it's a really fun, actually it's quite addictive, this idea, because the more you do, the more you can play with it, right? And this particular concept using 2 colors like this, I keep looking at my collection thinking what else can I do color wise that would be really quite awesome. So I'm going to come all the way to the end and then make sure you go into the end. It's the 2 strands on the hook, so pull through and through, and then you're officially done. That's all there is, my friends. So that's the end of the bind off. So then you just cut your yarns, and then the one that was hanging out that we left on here, you'll have to take your tapestry needle, hide it in, go back and forth 3 times underneath the stitch work in order to hide it, and as it gets bigger you'll see the roll will actually calm down, and I think it's quite fun. So this is Tunisian by Anita today, and it's really quite a fun idea. Have a great one, and we hope to see you again real soon right here, and Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd. Bye bye.